1 second. Okay, so maybe you can um, okay, let's try doing this. Okay, maybe you can read the titles once. Okay, so this video talked about upgrading yourself. It would have been great if you could have listened to this video, but that's absolutely no problem. Okay, so it says that let's move on to an upgraded version to treat pulp calcifications. The concept of navigation and using guided surgery originated from the neurosurgeons. While treating brain tumors, when they can localize their surgical instruments during surgery. From neurology, this concept was adopted by dentists for implant placement, and then the endodontist using this concept to locate canals, especially in the pulp calcifications and endodontic surgeries. So the concept of guided procedure was first termed by Kressel et al. In 2016 with pulp canal calcification, and since then there are many other clinicians who are trying to use guided endodontics in cases like surgeries and managing calcified canals. So let's begin that how we should actually do this guided endodontics. It involves 3 basic steps. Number 1 is an intraoral scan. Number 2 is cone beam computer tomography. And number 3 is 3D printing. Let's together treat a case of pulp canal obliteration in the right upper anterior tooth via guided endodontics. Step number 1, take the intraoral digital scan. You can use any intraoral scan available nearby, but my best recommendation would be Dentsply Sirona 3Shape Trios and Medit i500. After taking the intraoral digital scan, the surface scan has to be uploaded in a software which will be stored in the STL file. Now, a lot of people get intimidated with the word STL file. So what is STL file exactly? STL file is just a file format for 3D printing. Very simple, just a file format. Coming to step number 2, take CBCT. The tooth in the CBCT can be viewed in multiple planes, axial, sagittal, and coronal, to locate the canal, whether it's in the middle, apical, or the coronal third. Now, this file of CBCT will be stored in the DICOM files. DICOM files is same as that of STL file. It's just an image format which will be used in the software. Okay, so for endodontic purpose, keep a few things in mind. Take a CBCT at a minimum resolution, always, not exceeding 200 microns. Always take a high definition CBCT. Number 3 is when taking a CBCT, in this case, take it in an open mouth position. Place a cotton roll or a bite plane. This will help in segmentation of the teeth from the lower jaw, and you will be able to easily prepare a drill path. And the last, most important, is always choose a small field of view. We can see this diagram, the green color is a small FOV. Small FOV will cover a small area and will help us to focus on the root canal anatomy specifically. Now, the CBCT has to be uploaded in the software. So guided endodontics is completely software driven. So the software that we have used here is called Co-Diagnostics software. Now the question comes, when taking a CBCT, you need to locate the canal on CBCT. How to do that? Sometimes locating the canal on CBCT is very, very simple. When starting with your planning, we try to view the tooth in all the directions, whether it's sagittal, axial, or the coronal view. The pulp canal will be viewed as a black radiolucency in the middle or the apical third. But in some of the cases, we have seen that we are not able to locate the canal or visualize the canal at all. That's because of the density of the calcified tooth. So what do we do in that case? In that case, let's always stick to the law of centrality. Try looking for the canal in the central part of the tooth. After you've located the canal on the CBCT, now comes the next part, which is you have to create a virtual drill path or the virtual path for your drill. The software that we are using, Co-Diagnostic, allows the creation of the virtual image of the burr that we are going to use. In this picture, this is your target point, the point where the canal is found. In this case, it has been found in the apical third, supposedly. So that's the tip of the burr, and the red becomes the base of the burr. But which burr are we talking about? Do we know that which burr are we supposed to use in all these cases? Yes. Study says that you can easily use a commercially available burr, that is Straumann drill for implants. It has a total length of 37 mm and a diameter of 1.5 mm, which is actually accurate for this case. We need a long burr to reach up to the middle or the apical third, and the diameter should be 1.5. In another case, we have seen that others have also used another kind of burrs, which is SS White endo guide burrs, which is specifically made for calcified canals. Even they have a total length of 26 to 34 mm and the diameter is just 1.2, which is apt for the canals of the root canal. So I just put up this slide because I wanted to show you, a clear picture of what establishing the virtual path is. So in this case, you can clearly see this is how the software looks like when we plan for the virtual path of the burr. That's the axial view. So once we have the virtual drill path established, then comes the fabrication of the template for guidance. Can you appreciate this circular thing on the template? That's called a sleeve. This sleeve helps to control the path and the depth of the drill or the burr used. So this template is actually used to guide us or guide the burr to reach up to the apical third of the canal. So how do we make this template? This template can be made by superimposition of the surface scan with the CBCT scan. Remember, the first step was taking an intraoral scan. Now we are going to use those intraoral scan in the software. So this green color is an STL file, and this CBCT is called the DICOM file in the software. So what you're seeing right now is a co-diagnostic software. Okay, so it says that superimposition has to be very accurate. The STL file and the DICOM file both have to superimpose accurately with each other. After we superimpose, we get this kind of a template. So there have been a lot of questions that how to accurately superimpose the intraoral scan with the CBCT. The answer for this is select 3 same points on the STL file as well as on the DICOM file. Just like I've showed in the picture, there are 3 different colors: green, blue, and orange. The orange one is on the cervical area of the canine. Similarly, the same orange is on the cervical area of the canine. And similarly, we have done with this green and the blue. So this is how you can exactly superimpose the 2 files with each other by putting the landmarks. These landmarks will guide you for an accurate superimposition. And we are doing superimposition to make a template. Once this is done, you just have to click a 3D printing button and you can get this template. So these templates, when they are made, they are attached onto the teeth and their correct and reproducible fit is checked. Now, after checking the fit, remove it and do the initial access with the help of a diamond burr until the dentine is exposed. When the dentine is exposed, you can take the specific burr that you chose before to reach up to that point of the canal. And when you reach that point, you take out this burr, put a 10K file, BMP, and obturate the canal. So this was the whole concept of guided endodontics. Let me do a quick recap for you all to understand a little better. First step, take the intraoral digital scan. Number 2, take the CBCT scan. On CBCT, we will locate the canal. After we locate the canal, we have to choose a burr first. After choosing the burr, we make a virtual drill path for the burr in the software. The software will automatically tell you and guide you how to make that, the virtual drill path. So when you've created a virtual path for this burr to go inside, half of the work is done. Then comes the second part, which is making of the template. How do you make the template? You superimpose the surface scan with the CBCT scan. And this is how you, by using the 3D printing, you can get these templates and a sleeve which will guide the burr to the exact position where the canal is found. So how much do you all think is guided endodontics accurate? Research shows it's highly, highly accurate. You know, the mean deviation of angle of the burr used with the canal was just 1.81 degree, which is equal to being negligible. Also, there hasn't been any reports of root perforations till now when performing guided endodontic access. Okay, so next, I just want to share with you all that there have been very few cases on guided endodontics when treating pulp canal calcifications. You would hardly see any cases, especially in India or any other places, because this concept is so new. But I'm very delighted to announce that this is a case which is performed in our own prestigious college, Sardar Patel Postgraduate Institute of Dental and Medical Sciences in the Department of Conservative Dentistry and Endodontics, under the guidance of our HOD and professor, Dr. Sanjeev Srivastava Sir, and the entire faculty. So in this case, what they did was, this was a calcified tooth. So this is the CBCT. With the CBCT, they found the canal to be in the middle third. That's the target point, which is 13.33 mm. Now this is a custom made burr. They could not find the Strawman drill for implants. So they used this particular custom made burr. And in the software, they created a virtual path of this particular burr. After that, they took the intraoral scan and created this particular guide with the sleeve. The patient came and they tried this template on the patient, and this is how they used this particular burr to go inside the canal. So that's the working length, and this is the obturation done. So really beautifully done case. Heartiest congratulations. This article will be soon published in any of the national or the international journal. Okay, so next I'm briefly going to talk about that how do we do this guided endodontics in molars when there is limited interocclusal space. Previously, there has been a lot of questions that premolars and molars cannot be treated because of lack of interocclusal space, because the guide and the burr cannot function at the same time. So for your knowledge, I want to briefly share how we can treat molars with guided endodontics. So in this case report, the patient was referred to an endodontist as the referring dentist was not able to locate the distobuccal canal in the first maxillary molar. Patient complained of pain on percussion. The radiographic examination showed pulp canal obliteration in the distal root. So the endodontist tried using a dental microscope, but could not find the canal. So that is why he opted for a guided approach. On the CBCT, in the axial view, he found the canal. After finding the canal, he planned for the virtual drill path. And after creating a virtual drill path, he took an intraoral scan and superimposed both CBCT and intraoral scan and created a guide, a template. Okay, so when he created this template, the problem that he faced was the interocclusal space was not enough. The template and the long burr cannot be accessed together to deal with this. So to deal with this, they came up with a technique that I'm going to talk about. This technique is called intracoronal guide technique. Now, what is this technique? What he did is he took a small steel pin of the same diameter, which is 1.2 mm, which can actually pass through the sleeve. Then he covered this pin with a blue stain at the tip. Then both the guide as well as the pin were seated on the teeth, on this particular tooth, to check if the pin could actually go to the bottom of this cavity without touching the wall. So this blue mark, that's how he stained this particular point, which shows that this is the distobuccal canal with the help of this small mark that he made over here. So this white arrow shows that this is a distobuccal canal, and this black arrow is the one that they were speculating the canal to be. But once they found the distobuccal canal, it wasn't easy to open the calcified canal. I know locating the canal is still easy, but how to negotiate that calcified canal is also important. Plus, there was not visibility without a microscope to even appreciate this blue mark when they were doing this, when they were treating this particular tooth. So what they did was they filled the access cavity with a composite material temporarily. Now, why did they fill the tooth with the composite? I'm just going to tell you in a moment. So fill the access with the composite, and then the guide is placed over the tooth and the steel pin is pressed through the sleeve. This guiding length they recorded earlier was 4 mm. After putting this inside, they cured the composite. Okay, so after curing the composite, they finally took out the sleeve and the pin, and this is what we get. So an intracoronal composite guide is formed, which is actually directing us towards the distobuccal canal. So the mesiobuccal canal and the palatal canal is all blocked, and the only thing that we can see is the distobuccal canal. This is a very higher magnification of the tooth. So the purpose of doing this was, now we do not need a template or this pin. The only thing that we need is a 1.2 mm burr. The spiral burr that we originally chose, we can use that burr, put it in the endodontic handpiece, and reach to the bottom of the access cavity and the root canal. So after the location of the root canal, and as we have negotiated it to some point, we can take a 10 number K file and further do the BMP and obturate the canal. So I can quickly repeat this for you. For those maybe, this is a little different concept. So for interocclusal space, it's not easy, the guide and the long burr, to function at the same time. So what they did is they made this guide with the help of this steel burr. By marking a blue point here, they could locate the canal. After locating the canal, they filled the entire cavity with composite. After filling with the composite, they put the same template here and slide in the same sleeve and cured it. When they removed the guide and the sleeve, this is what they found. So this intracoronal composite is guiding you towards the distobuccal canal, and now the original burr, which is of 1.2 mm diameter, can be attached to your endodontic handpiece, and this guide can be removed, and without any guidance, you can use an endodontic handpiece with the burr and reach up to a point where the canal was present. Further, you can use a 10K file, do the BMP and obturate the canal. This is the first case report on guided endodontics in posterior teeth with limited interocclusal space in the maxillary molar. So before finishing about guided endodontics, I would just like to share one more thing, which is, do you think that guided endodontics has limitations? Of course, it does have. It's a new concept. The first and the foremost being the limitations of CBCT. The spatial resolution of CBCT does not always allow visualization of the canal. There is increased radiation burden. The technique is limited to straight canals. If a patient is with reduced mouth opening, that's a limitation as well, especially in the posterior teeth. And then it says that there are some forces generated by the tip of the burr which can create or generate any cracks. Of course, not to forget the increased cost and time of fabricating the surgical guide. But the best part about limitations is that when there are limitations, there is more studies going on it, and every day we are working to improve upon guided endodontics. So just before I finish, I would again like to share this case, which is a case of auto transplantation done with guided endodontics. Now, this is again a very impressive case, which I didn't know about it, but again, it has been performed in our own Department of Conservative Dentistry and Endodontics in our prestigious college, Sardar Patel Postgraduate Institute of Dental and Medical Sciences. There has been very few case reports on guided auto transplantation, but this is a case which is very well done. So auto transplantation, as we all know, entails extracting a tooth from its original site and placing it to the edentulous site. That's auto transplantation. So in this case, what they have done is they want to extract tooth number 46. Uh, can we unmute ourselves? Okay, thank you. Okay, so in this case of auto transplantation, which is performed in the department, they want to extract this tooth number 46, and they want to use 48 to get auto transplanted at the site of 46. So first of all, they took the CBCD of the patient to know about the exact morphology and anatomy of both the teeth. Okay, so then there is a guide prepared for 4-8, because 4-8 is the one which has to be placed in place of 4-6. After that, this is the 3D printed model. After we got this, we extracted tooth number 4-6. And we used this particular guide in place of this socket. And when we placed it aside, it was a perfect fit. But in case if it doesn't fit properly, then we can do some of the modifications within the bone with the help of some burrs, and with the help of these guided models, we can actually get an accurate fit and an accurate dimension of the tooth which is to be auto transplanted. So can you see in this particular picture how well this guide of 4-8 fits so well? So 4-8 is already here. This is the guided version of 4-8. So this is such an amazing technology. After that, when we felt that this has a good fit, they took out 4-8 and they placed in the place of 4-6. So really nicely handled case, and that's the post-op of this, and it has been carried in our department under the guidance of Dr. Sanjeev Srivastav sir, who's the HOD of the department, and even this case will be soon published in one of the esteemed journals. So heartiest congratulations. To conclude, guided endodontic procedures are a promising technique which is offering minimal invasive approach with a lower risk of iatrogenic damage. And larger population studies with longer follow-up periods are definitely required. So thank you, everyone. I wanted to play a small video for you all, but let me check one more time if we can get the sound. Okay, I can play this. Okay, so I'm just gonna play the video.
Become so vigilant, so out fantastic at what you do, that your talent cannot be dismissed.
That's how it is the protocol. अरे patient की ना pain का dressing change कर जी मैम.
Yes. So with this note that the talent can never be dismissed, I'm going to end my presentation,
नीचे है नहीं
and let's see if we have any discussions that anybody wants to do, if we have any time left.
आ रही है ममता दो या तीन तो
Thank you so much for your wonderful webinar, ma'am. Ma'am, we do have a question from one of the registered members. Dr. Hiba Pathan has asked you to kindly repeat the guided composite process.
Sure. Okay, let me start my presentation again. Okay, so let's go to this page. Okay, so let's start from process. Okay, so the process is that we have tried to locate the canal with the help of the CBCT, and this is where we found the canal. So when we found the canal, we made the virtual path for it. Okay. So after that, we took the intraoral scan of the patient, superimposed the two files, and made this particular guide. When we made this guide, we realized that there was lack of interocclusal space. So when there was lack of interocclusal space, what they did is that they took a small steel pin of 1.2 mm diameter, marked with a blue pen, so that they can place this particular guide along with the steel pin on the tooth. So when they placed this guide along with the pin, and when they removed it, they saw the mark, the blue mark being here. So this white arrow is the distobuccal canal. So now when you have distobuccal canal, it's not easy to see it with the naked eye. It wasn't easy. We couldn't see that a small blue mark. Okay, so they thought that, okay, let's use this guide and let's use this steel pin and use a composite material. Okay, so they covered the entire tooth with the composite material, and without curing it, it's composite is in its initial phase right now. So without curing it, they put the same guide with the sleeve inside. So when the sleeve went inside, it actually put a mark inside of the distobuccal canal. So without removing this, they just cured the composite. After curing the composite, they removed the guide with the pin. When they removed, this is what they saw. Just a small place of distobuccal canal. So this way, all the other surfaces of the tooth were blocked, mesiobuccal and the palatal canal, everything was blocked. And the only thing that we could see was a 4 or 5 mm length of distobuccal canal on the floor itself. So now, if you want to negotiate the calcified canal, you don't need a guide. What you need is just the burr and the endodontic handpiece. So take the endodontic handpiece, which can easily get into the patient's mouth without the guide. You take out the guide, take the endodontic handpiece, put the burr inside, and easily negotiate the distobuccal canal, which is the only canal that is visible to you on the tooth. So this way we have created a composite intra means inside the tooth, intracoronal guide. So with intracoronal guide, we located the canal and negotiated it. And when we negotiated it till the middle third, let me show you the canal. So in this picture, can you see this is where the target point is? So that burr, the spiral burr that they are trying to create a virtual copy of. So they took that burr, put it in the endodontic handpiece and reached up to this height. But in this technique, they are doing it without the guide because there's no space for the guide. Okay, so that's how they went inside and then they negotiated with the 10K file and did the BMP and obturated. So I hope that's clear now. Still not clear, then maybe we can connect my Facebook page sometime.
Any other questions, please? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Mithali, for
Thanks.
this nice lecture.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I would like to our principal, Dr. Gaurav Singh, to say a few words about the presentation of the lecture. There may be some network problem, and he is busy in departmental exam also. So now over to Dr. Priyanka.
Hello everyone. On behalf of Sardar Patel Alumni Association, I would like to propose a vote of thanks to all the esteemed faculties, senior faculty members, colleagues, students, and the alumni over this virtual platform. Thank you so much for your patience hearing. Hope there was a lot for each one of us to benefit and learn from today's webinar on CAD-CAM aided navigation systems in endodontics. The strength of any institution lies in its alumni members, and it makes me feel very nostalgic having our very own alumni, Dr. Mithali Kukreja Bahel, over this webinar today organized by the Department of Conservative and Endodontics in collaboration with the Student Alumni Association Sardar Patel on the occasion of Cons and Endo Week. Thank you, Dr. Mithali. It was indeed a proud moment both for the department and the institute to have you with us today. We, from the institute, wish her all the success, happiness in her future endeavors. Thank you, respected Chairman, Sir, Sri Anurag Singh Ji, our Secretary, Ma'am, Dr. Srinatha Singh Ji, and our respected Principal, Dr. Gaurav Singh, Sir, for their never-ending blessings and encouragements and best wishes. Before I sign off, I owe a big thanks to all the Executive Council members of the Students Alumni Association, Sardar Patel, for their continued support. I, Dr. Shatish Srivastava, on Vice President of the Sardar Patel Alumni Association, signing off and wishing each one of you once again a very happy Cons and Endo Week. Thank you so much.
So now request Dr. Sanjeev sir and Dr. Shobit sir to kindly present ma'am with the e-certificate for the webinar presentation.
Thank you, Kali.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
We hope we will have more of this kind of webinars with you and our attendees in future.
Sure, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.
The e-certificates to all the participants will be sent to the registered email IDs. Thank you. Thank you to all the delegates for your active participation. Thank you so much.